Welcome back to a game of Fangs and Thrones. My name's Hannah and this is the start of a weekly reading vlog. Now it is Monday. It's currently Bank Holiday Monday in England, well the UK. And plans for this week are just to get a start on June's TBR. May, I say was, but you know, it's one day left. May has been a great reading month for me, so I'm hoping to continue that into June. Reading, if you haven't seen it, my TBR for this month just basically involves reading as many of the subscription box services books. Why can't I say that? But anyway, reading those books this month, as many as I can. I did run through a couple of the ones that I was more excited to get to than others in the TBR video. So I'm kicking off this video by saying I started and finished one of those books on the TBR on Saturday while I was waiting for Sean to pick me up, and that was The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. I'll talk more about that in the wrap up, but I do think it was accurate to give you an update on anything I read over the weekend. The other book that I'm reading at the moment, I've started and whatnot, is We Played with Fire by Catherine Barter. This is loosely based on the true tale of the Fox sisters, who claimed that they could speak to ghosts, I'm imagining. I'm about 126 pages in, and there is a simplicity to the writing that is actually quite chilling and fits so well with the story. So far, I don't want to do too much spoilers, but what has started off as a game to get one up on their father has turned into something maybe a little bit more. It's dealing with the hysteria of the age when mediums first burst onto the scene. Is it all a hoax? Is it real? That kind of thing. And I am really enjoying it so far, and it is only 322 pages with a little afterwards, which I'll probably read anyway. So there's that one. This was sent from a BookBox Club, which I do pay for myself. So yep. And then we're kicking this off with a mini haul because I am terrible, and Waterstones are doing double stamps this weekend, and I finally got my card sorted out. So I just bought a pen just because I needed something a little bit more to get an extra stamp, so we'll put that there. Then the books that I bought, well technically it's 2 books and a graphic novel, so we'll just get them out of the packet. I'm just checking I bought the right one. Yeah. So we have The Wicked and the Divine, volume 6, which is Imperial Phase Part 2. Now, if you weren't aware, this is a graphic novel set in modern day, following 12 individuals who have been reincarnated as gods. I don't know what to tell you and what to cover, what would be classed as a spoiler and what wouldn't. But in the first issue, we meet Lucy, who is the devil incarnate, and poop hits the fan, pretty much. But this is volume 6. The art style is, I do love the art style. But yeah, it's quite ingenious. There are references to drug use, sexual assaults, that kind of thing, so if you are sensitive to that, just be careful. And then we have Vulture, which is the conclusion to the Isle of Storms and Sorrow trilogy, which includes Viper and Venom. Now in Viper, she is the daughter of a pirate chief, I believe, and trying to come into her own, and it's been a while since I've read it, but I did enjoy it. So this is obviously the sequel to that. I can't talk too much about it because of the spoilers. And then I bowed to booktube pressure and bought Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. Now, I don't feel like I shouldn't have to say anything about this because it is doing the rounds at the moment. But Morrigan Crow is a cursed child. She believes she's destined to die on her 11th birthday. But then, on her birthday, or the day, I'm not sure when, but apparently she's whisked away to the secret city of Nevermore by a man called Jupiter North, and he introduces her to the world of magic, and there's something in here called the Brollies. Brollies are used to travel. But yeah, so that's my current haul. Hopefully it doesn't get too much. Hopefully it doesn't get too much bigger. But I do have 3 subscription boxes, and another 10 stars on, and I have 10 stamps on my Waterstones card. So I'll probably end up with another book or 2. But yeah. And I think that's all I have to say for this one so far. And and did you know that Pretty Little Liars is on iPlayer? So I've been binging that all weekend, and I think I'm probably just going to spend the rest of the afternoon reading. And I'll come back to you if something interesting happens or if I finish the book. So yeah. So 2 updates in one day, you know what that means. I finished the book. I loved the idea of it, whether it is a real thing or if it's an illness or is it just a trick. But it didn't give me 5-star vibes, which is a shame because I did really enjoy that. And I am going to see if I can find the author's previous work. So that means I'm actually finishing May on 15 books. I don't think I'm going to pick up anything tonight. I think I'm just going to work on my knitting, and I've had an idea. And I think I talked about this last week. But I'm going to start a review journal just so I can jot down a few thoughts on the books as and when I'm reading them, so I can keep up to date. Because even if I read all 5 stars, there are going to be things that I forget about each book and that I want to talk about. So that's what I'm doing for the rest of the night, and it is still fairly early. I think it's about 7 o'clock. Nope, it's 8:10, so probably a good time to just stop and chill. And I'll speak to you tomorrow when I've found something to read. She says, looking at a very full TBR trolley. But I'll come back to you tomorrow and let you know what I'm reading and what I'm thinking. So it's Tuesday. I've just finished my wrap up, and I have a very convenient stack of books here to rest my elbow on. I haven't decided what to read yet, but I'm maybe leaning towards The Outlaws Scarlet and Brown by Jonathan Stroud. It's a from what I remember of the synopsis, it's a post-apocalyptic Britain where Scarlet is a bit of a Western outlaw. She shoots first, asks questions later, and gets by her wits and the occasional bank heist, until she meets Brown, who seems to be a bit of an anomaly. He ends up tagging along with her, I think, or possibly reading Shielded, just for that, because I think that's going to give me the a hit of classic fantasy, sword fights, bit of magic, princess in disguise. Because from what I hear of that, from what I've remembered from the synopsis of that one, our main character is a princess. She's second in line for the throne and sees herself as completely useless because she has no magic of her own. So her father sends her off to the neighbouring kingdom to either try for peace, to end the war that's happening, or to gain allies from a neighbouring country. And it has, I think that was one of the first subscription books that I did get, that I still haven't read yet. So maybe that one. And the cover is actually quite intriguing now that I'm in the mood for what I would call a classic fantasy. And I can't read 2 books at once, I'm not that good. So I'm going to pop these away somehow, and then pop on some YouTube, because I know Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte has posted a vlog. She's posted her weekly reading vlog, and because it is Tuesday, Becca from Becca and the Books will be posting today, and maybe Jade from JD Ray Reads as well. So I have my reading for the night, when I'll probably look at some knitting as well. And I got some more wool because I am obsessed, and it is on offer in Aldi. I've got this pretty grey one and the pretty pink one. So I'll probably, and I still have a full packet of blue. So I'm probably just going to get on with that for tonight. And I'll let you know in the morning, probably, which book I've decided to read and what I'm thinking of it. So I'll pop these away and I'll see you soon. It's Wednesday, halfway through the week, and I swear this vlog is turning more into a haul than a vlog. I've been to Newcastle, I've been to the city centre, grabbed a few bits, and of course I had to pop into Forbidden Planet. The reason for the trip was this, volume 3 of The Walking Dead by Robert Kirkman, Charlie Adlard and Cliff Rathburn. Volume 3 is entitled Safety Behind Bars. And if you've seen the TV show, you'll know all about it. But this is the 3rd bind-up of the Walking Dead comics, which follow Rick Grimes and his small band of survivors as they try to navigate life in post-apocalyptic times. Then I have 2 sequels. Let me know in the comments below, but in July, well, probably August, July, August, summertime-ish, I'm planning on hosting a little informal readathon. Anybody is welcome to join. There won't be prompts or a live show unless anyone's interested. But I'm planning on just calling it Sequelathon and reading all of my sequels. And I've just added to that pile. I have The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the 3rd and final instalment in the Daevabad trilogy, which follows Nari and Ali. Nari, con woman on the streets of Cairo. You probably know all this already, but she's a con woman in the streets of Cairo in the 1800s. She makes a living by tricking rich men into thinking they're more ill than they are. And then, obviously, she gets money from the diagnosis, as well as taking a cut of the apothecary that she sends them to get these magic cures. She summons a jinn in a ritual and ends up in the city of Deva. And chaos ensues. I've given both the City of Brass and the Kingdom of Copper 5 stars, I believe. I know I gave at least one of them 5 stars. Then we have a book that I didn't think was out yet, and that is Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova. This is the sequel to Incendiary, which I did get in a fairy loot box and enjoyed it well enough to continue with the sequel if I saw it. It follows Renata, who is a memory thief who worked in the palace as the bit of the palace torturer, the palace executioner. She stole people's memories. She escaped and ended up in with a band of rebels who are like her. They have magic. They are the Moira, and because of her past and her ability, they don't trust her either. And there's this mission with her commander, who they think one thing happens to, and it turns out that's not true. But yeah, so that's that one. And I'm going to address it now because you can see the change in the shelves. They are that way, not that way anymore. I got bored. I was cleaning up, putting some books away from my wrap-up, which should be up next week, the week you're seeing this vlog. And I couldn't fit them in, so I had a bit of a rearrange, and I'm quite liking it like that, but it's going to be fun when I've got to put more books in. And speaking of, this is the last update. I'm not quite halfway into Shielded by Cailin Flanders. I think I left it at about I'm on page 105, which is chapter 6. It is very slow going at the start, but I am intrigued enough to continue. I think when I got to around chapter 4 or 5 is when I suddenly got interested in this story. But it follows Jenna, or Jennace, who is the second born child to the king of Helendia. I swear, why can I never remember names? But she's the second born to this. She's the second born heir, and she is supposed to hide the magic that she's been granted, because a long time ago because it's seen as competition for her older brother, the heir, and because a long time ago a second-born tried to murder the firstborn, and they think it was because of the magic. But I'm guessing there's more to it than that. It's very polar fantasy. It gives me Norse vibes, just in the way that the people are described as dressing, the fact that there's this wild forest and she wears her hair in braids. I've got no idea where that came from, but why that makes me think of Norse. Maybe it's because Thor wears a braid. But yeah, that's the gist of it so far. It's not giving me it's definitely not giving me 5-star vibes yet, because it is so slow, and I wasn't immediately grabbed by the storyline. But it is a debut, so we'll take everything with a pinch of salt. Is that it? Oh. No, it's just the light. So it is a debut, but we will take it with a pinch of salt, and just because I don't love it doesn't mean anybody else won't. But I'm giving this it's giving me 3-star vibes at the moment. It's okay, it has potential, I'm enjoying where I'm at so far. The writing isn't too bad, it's just quite simple and a little bit blunt, dare I say, and it doesn't tell rather than show. But it doesn't overly show rather than tell. So I think so far I do think she's got that balance at the moment. So plans for tonight is to edit and schedule the videos for Friday and next Friday, my wrap up and haul. Probably the haul will probably come first. The books that I've bought this week will go into June's haul, because I bought them after I filmed the video. And I think that's it for this update, and if anything interesting happens, I'll let you know. So it's Thursday, and I've just finished Shielded by Cailin Flanders, and it's a 3-star. didn't really rate, didn't really feel for any of the characters. The romance was a bit insta-lovey, and it just didn't feel right, and I didn't relate to any of the characters. The writing was a bit basic. It is a debut, so I am trying to be nice. So it's a 3-star, and I will talk more about it in this month's wrap-up. There is a sequel coming out this year, I believe, summer 2021, but it's not one that I'm probably going to continue with. Shame, because this naked hardback is gorgeous. I don't think my camera can pick it up, but there is embossing on it. Just see it. But this, unfortunately, is going to go in the unhaul box. It's not a bad book. It's just not one that It's not one I'm going to reread. And the unhaul box is not a bad place. It's just, there's no point in me keeping a book that I don't love, or I'm not going to read, or a book that I'm not going to reread. So this will go to someone who will love it. They'd probably be a bit younger than me, I think, just to agree with just to gel with the character, because I think she is 17 at the start and is in a bit of an arranged marriage, which normally I don't mind, but there's just something that doesn't quite sit right. But nothing problematic or anything, I just don't feel for the characters. But my battery is going to start flashing at me, so I'm going to pick a new book and come back to you tomorrow. So it's Friday, and as usual I've just done my exercise class, which is my hair looks slightly more awkward than usual. I'll make this quick because battery is going to start flashing at me in a minute. But I started The Supreme Lie by Geraldine McCaffrey, and I'm just about to start chapter 15, and I'm loving this a lot more than Shielded, so I haven't quite grown out of YA, even though I think this might be more middle grade. But our main character Gloria is 15, so I'll have to double check that. I'll see what Goodreads says. But this is the story of Gloria, who works for the Madame Suprema in a flood destroyed world. And this all happens fairly quick, but Madame Suprema runs away, leaving her husband and her dog and her maid Gloria. The husband decides that to keep up appearances, he's going to coach Gloria in how to be his wife. Nothing sexual, nothing like that. It is purely just for the outside world, and she's doing a good job in the people's eyes, but in the husband's eyes, she's too nice. She's not really getting the point. So I'm just going to put camera on charge before it dies, read and have my tea, and I'll come back to you at some point. Hi. So as you can probably tell, because this is a 2 update day, I finished The Supreme Lie by Geraldine McCaffrey, and this is a dystopian-esque book in which our main character Gloria is the 15-year-old maid to the ruling power, the Suprema, and fairly early on, I think it's like in the first or second chapter, the Suprema pretty much runs away, and her husband decides that Gloria is going to be the perfect replacement while they figure out what's going on and what to do. Now obviously Gloria doesn't want to pretend to be a 40-year-old woman, but she has no choice. But as the story progresses, obviously Gloria learns that even though she is only young, her voice has power, and she can change the world. She can change the course of what's going on, and I loved it, which is a lovely surprise from the first book I read. Was it the first the first book I read this week, which was Shielded, which was a bit of a letdown, and I don't know what it is, but every time I have a YA book that I don't enjoy, I worry that I'm growing out of the genre. But then 9 times out of 10, the next book that I pick up, as is the case with Shielded and The Supreme Lie, 9 times out of 10, the next book I pick up after that one I didn't particularly enjoy, I love. So it's making me think that maybe it's not me, it's the book, which isn't to say that it's ever a bad book. It's just not a book for me. But yeah, The Supreme Lie I gave 4 stars. There was just something about it that stopped me from absolutely loving it, but saying that, I did read it in 2 sittings. I started it last night before bed and finished it tonight, and it's only about 9:10. So, plans for tonight. Like I say, it is 9:10 and it is Friday, so I don't have work tomorrow. And Sean isn't picking me up until later, but I am meeting some friends in the morning, so I'll probably not stay up too late reading, she says, and watch her stay up till midnight again. I think I'm probably going to pick up What Is Calling My Name. I do have my TBR list in front of me as well, and there are the core, in air quotes, the core books that I want to get to that I did mention in the TBR video, but I have got a few on there that I have been wanting to read for a while as well, just not got to them. So that was quite dystopian, and I've had a bum fantasy, and the majority of my books are fantasy. But there is the Outlaws, which is dystopian western. It's giving me dystopian western feels, and that is set in the UK, which The Supreme Lie is set in a made-up country, but there are aspects of it that give me British summertime vibes, and maybe it's just because it's the rain. But The Outlaws is set in a post-apocalyptic Britain, I believe. But then we have The Shadow War, which is historical. I don't know what to pick. I'll probably read the synopses again before I decide which one I'm going to read. Maybe, and then depending on what I decide, if I decide to read anything, I may just do some knitting for a bit until I get bored of that, and then put a film or something on, which I doubt. I haven't really been in a film, in a movie kind of mood, but I have been binging Pretty Little Liars, and I forgot how cheesy, over the top, melodramatic that series is, but I absolutely love it. I've just finished season 1. I'm about 2 episodes in season 2, and I think I can remember who the first A is. No spoilers, but I think I can remember who the first A was, because I thought that one was actually believable and it made sense. And then after that, I think the believability of it went downhill, but it was still a really enjoyable series. And yeah, this was only meant to be a short update, but hey ho. And I have started my reading journal as such. It is just, at the moment, it is just the cheat sheet for Corpel by G. Just what each letter stands for, and the ratings and how they correspond to the stars and whatnot. And then the majority of this notebook so far has been reviews, so there are only like 2 pages. A review for Shielded and a review for The Supreme Lie, and there is quite a big difference in the ratings. So I am enjoying the Corpel system because you can enjoy a book. It breaks it down a little bit, in the sense that you can enjoy a book wholeheartedly, but hate the characters in it, or feel like the characters need more work, and rather than just giving it a 5-star on enjoyment or 3-star for character work, this gives you an average, and you are able to see what you liked about the book, what you didn't like, that kind of thing. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this update now and try and decide what to read, and I'll come back to you if and when I decide to read anything, or in the morning, because I'll probably just let this vlog run until Saturday, because like I say, I'm not getting picked up until later, and I can't be bothered to end. Actually, I think I might. Yeah, I'll end it now, like I normally do, because then that gives me time to edit and whatnot, ready for Monday. And I like these weekly vlogs, and it means that on Mondays I definitely have something to talk about, because I love picked a book for the weekend. And so that being said, I'm going to end this vlog here. Two books in a week is it 2? Because I feel like I should have read another one. Oh no, it's because I read 2. I talked about two books at the beginning of the week, which you'll see in the wrap up. That's out on Friday next week. Yeah, and I've read 2 so far. 1 3-star, which it happens. 3 stars aren't bad, but that book just wasn't for me. And then a 4-star, which I enjoyed a whole lot more, but don't think it'll be a favourite. But because it is a 4-star, it is staying and does have rereadability. And I'm going to end this vlog now before I start rambling on about rubbish, which is not what you're here for. So if you like whatever this was, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see this and talk about them. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.